Hello Total War and Warhammer fans, and welcome to my faction guide for the Twisted and the Twilight, the newest DLC for Warhammer 2, launching on the 3rd of December this year. This is made possible by the developers at Creative Assembly, who I have to thank for this opportunity. The purpose of this video is to give you a side-by-side comparison and showcase of the new factions, legendary lords and the gameplay mechanics this DLC brings to the game. I'm going to go into the details of Trod the Unclean, Master Mutator of Clan Moulder, and his demented and mutated hordes of Skaven, as well as the unique features Wood Elves are getting with the Elven twin sisters Neishtra and Arahen, known as the Sisters of Twilight. This DLC content will be available in both the Eye of the Vortex and Mortal Empires campaigns, and can also be used in custom and battle modes. Do note that with this paid DLC also comes free content in the form of a legendary lord for the Wood Elves called Drycha, and the Skaven Chieftain Hero Lord, along with an update to the Wood Elves faction which includes Ember and technology rework, as well as two new mechanics, Forest Healing and Traveling the Deep Roots, which is a fancy way of saying you get to teleport entire armies from one forest to the next. One other piece of content is the Glade Captain of the Wood Elves, but this is a Total War Access exclusive content that you need to claim through the specific website, link is in the description. My name is Peter, and for anyone new to my channel, I welcome you and would love to see you stick around, subscribe and share your ideas and suggestions about this or any other of my videos about strategy games.
Sisters of Twilight!
But you're here for more Total War content, so let's dive straight into the specifics of the new legendary lords. The Wood Elf Sisters are the first lord ever to be made up of two characters. They used to be a single being, but were divided into siblings by the weave. Neishtra and Arahen are two sides of the same coin. They work together in the service of Queen Ariel, marshalling the woodland warriors at her command, and cannot be slain unless both fall in battle. They must prepare the forest glade for Ariel's arrival and protect her as she performs the ritual. Their unique mechanic is forging and upgrading of unique items by Dave, the mastersmith of Walt's Anvil for both the sisters. These items are crafted through incidents and dilemmas which appear throughout the course of the Sisters of Twilight campaign. On the other side of the spectrum, we have Trod the Unclean, who senses the opportunity to defeat the sisters and capture the Elven Queen while she is vulnerable, so he can harness her essence and cure the internal pangs of starvation caused by his warpstone infused metabolism. His unique mechanic is his personal flesh laboratory. There you can grow new monsters or augment existing ones to create new horrific abominations. Augmenting a unit too much can make them unstable and lead them to slowly mutate, gaining negative traits, while these augments can be stacked to create different combinations of effects. Units can even be recycled for raw materials, so even defective units still have a purpose. More on this a bit later. Before I go into more details about the new Wood Elves faction, I want to talk about the updated features and gameplay mechanics. First of all, Ember is no longer to be required for units or buildings, and on top of that, all technologies that previously cost Ember have had that cost removed and have been reworked. Additionally, 8 completely new technologies have been added, which will be the only thing for which the players will from now on use Ember, which they will gain through the regrowing and protection of the forests. In the Mortal Empires campaign, the Wood Elves still need to heal Athel Loren and restore the Oak of Ages. However, to do so, now they have to travel the world and heal special forest regions spread around the map. Each healed forest will provide unique bonuses for the player. A forest's health can be built up over time through various actions, such as by securing its borders and building certain buildings, and once sufficiently restored, the player will have the option to perform a special ritual to permanently heal that particular forest. Each one of these forests also have unique forest encounters, a kind of mini storylines that provide narrative choices and let the player shape how they heal the forest. As part of this system, new regions have been added to the campaign, 4 to Mortal Empires and 2 to Vortex, giving the Wood Elves a presence on every corner of the map. With these long distances to travel comes a need to find a quicker and safer path, and the forests themselves provide the answer. Now, when playing as the Wood Elves faction, players can instantly transport their armies between forest regions using the new Travel Deep Roots ability. Understandably, such a powerful ability comes with a cooldown. Since there are so many new units in this DLC for both of the factions and Regiment of Renown versions, like Mutant Rat Ogre, Wolf Rats and Great Stag Knights, I will have to make other dedicated videos to show all of these off to you in detail and all their combat splendor. One video for Wood Elves and another for the Skaven. The link will be posted in the description and here on the right. But what, or better should I say, who I have to take the time to mention in this video, are the Queen Ariel of Athel Loren herself and Goldridge, a former general of the Archon, the Ever-Chosen, and one of the 9 lords of the Hell Pit. Queen Ariel is a powerful spellcaster who is more than capable in melee combat, while Goldridge is a melee specialist with a long list of bonuses from anti-infantry and armor piercing to armored and terror causing. I will show off more of their destructive powers in one of those other videos. Now it is time for us to dig deeper into the specifics of the Wood Elves faction and their Sisters of Twilight. In the Vortex campaign you start off at the Ashen Coast, while in the Mortal Empires you start off your campaign with them in the Witchwood, deep in the Doomglades, and are already in war with the Dark Elves of Bleak Holds and the Reaper Horn tribe of Beastmen. Oddly enough, your highest positive relations are with the Dark Elves from the clan Karund and Tomb Knights of the Exiles of Neach, alongside the Wood Elves factions of Talsin, Torgoan and Waldriort. Your special units are Great Eagles, the Flying Monster unit, Hawk Riders, Flying Missile Cavalry, and Great Stag Knights, Monstrous Shock Cavalry. The effects which influence your entire faction are 10% additional ammunition, and those Hawk Rider units in your army gain the Volley of Kurnos ability, which gives them very long range and high damage. The Sisters of Twilight have their own Lord effects, effective only on their own army, which are lower upkeep of 15% for missile units, while flying units get a 10-point buff to their melee attack and a 15% increase to their charge bonus. The Sisters Sarahen and Nishra are very powerful archers with multi-shot ammunition, Forest Stalker ability, armor-piercing missiles, and move very fast while mounted on their Forest Dragon, and they also gain the poison attack stand. The fact that these are two separate characters acting as one is further reinforced by the separate health pools, but even if one is below 20%, the other will lend its spirit energy and restore some of the other's health through an always active ability called Conjoined Destiny. Another constant active ability is Gwendolor's Vantage, a triple buff for armor piercing and base missile damage, along with extra reload skill as long as there are no enemies that are closer than 70 meters to the Sisters. As for the offensive abilities, you have two distinctly different long-range attacks. One is specifically designed to deal the most damage to units with large numbers, while the other is for bringing down large single enemies. That one is called Talon of Dawn, and besides its massive armor-piercing damage, it also leaves the target with the Sundered Armor debuff. On the other hand, Talon of Dusk has little armor-piercing potential, but not only does it split into 10 separate projectiles, it also delivers a debilitating poison to its target, reducing its speed and offensive stats by about 20% for 10 seconds. Cherry on top, both of these talents can damage buildings.
So stitch limbs together.
Skaven clan Moulder, under its master mutator Trot the Unclean, also has many special features and offers a unique challenge for the player. With this lord, your Mortal Empires campaign would start in the Hell Pit, while the Vortex campaign starts off in the Chill Road, not that far from the Wood Elves domain. To your north, you have the Magnosican tribes, with whom you have mutually beneficial agreements, and you are also in Lord Malakat Good Graces and his Dark Elves Naragod faction. You are, however, already in war with growing Dark Elves and could easily go to war with either the Skaven clan Septic or Har Garnet Dark Elves. For special units, you get the Mutant Rat Ogre single monster unit, Wolf Rat Warbeasts, and non-mutant Rat Ogres as monstrous infantry. The faction-specific bonuses are tied to its habitat, the frozen northern mountains, so not only do they prefer the freezing climate, but are also immune to mountain attrition and get a 10% hit point bonus to all characters. To make their flesh laboratory mechanics easier to use, they only pay 50% of the construction costs for the breeding stock, pit of packmasters, force feeding chambers, and laboratory buildings. Trot the Unclean has his own list of powerful bonuses, which include an upkeep reduction of 20% and 10 bonus armor for Wolf Rats, Brood Horror, Hell Pit Abomination, and Rat Ogres, and their mutated brothers. The Worm in this Rotten Cheese, a passive regeneration ability for the Lord's entire army. Trot himself is quite mutated, and besides regeneration, he has both armor piercing and anti-large attack bonuses. The regeneration ability is a constant one, but comes with a 25% weakness to fire damage. He is also a great runner when outmatched in battles, as he gets a speed buff when his leadership is low and it's time to scurry away. But that doesn't prevent him from instilling fear into units nearest to him, with bonuses to leadership and melee defense through his continuous Master Controller ability. With his knowledge of surgery, his Moulder ability lets him heal and buff himself or other monster units in a 100-meter range for over 1000 hit points, 8 leadership and 24 melee attack. Last but not least, his Beast Pack ability makes it possible to summon a unit of Red Ogres, but those don't last long as they degrade over time on the battlefield. The Twisted and the Twilight is another DLC which brings wholly new and unique gameplay mechanics to Warhammer 2 with the addition of the Flesh Laboratory. This is a place where Trot can fashion his hideous new abominations for the battlefields. Numerous augmentations can be stacked to make existing units perform in horribly new ways, but as flesh can only bear so much torment, soon the subjects become unstable and decay sets in. This, however, doesn't stop these abominations from having a use though, as they can be rendered down for valuable materials such as growth juice for the vats where these specimens are grown. Other sources of growth juice are battles where it's harvested from the fallen and what little can be collected from nature. Mutagens, on the other hand, or should I say third hand if you're Trot, are used to apply augmentations to units to make them more effective in battle. You gain these mutagens as a byproduct of growing units in vats and can only store 100 doses until you increase this limit through upgrading the Flesh Lab. You can, however, have over 100 mutagens, but you have to spend them in that turn so they do not go to waste. Sisters of Twilight unique skills are linked to their specific storyline, weapons and units. The Forest Dragon mini-quest is unlocked at level 12 and in the end will reward you with this unique mount. Most weapon skills will increase damage and reload speed of the Sisters' bow attacks, while the skills which buff units will mostly impact specific ones your faction is most likely to use, like Glade Guard, Stag Knights or Dryad units. There are also bonuses tied to date and his item upgrading game mechanics. Master Mutator Trot the Unclean's unique skills are also designed to match the lore of the Lord and his faction. Considering his melee specialization, many skills offer boosts to those related stats, while his special abilities are unlocked one by one as he levels up along with his unique mount, Brood Horror. Other skills are designed to upgrade the mutation and augmentation capabilities through additional growth juice generation, with some skills relating to the upgrade of his favorite and unique units and their stats. This is another DLC for probably the most successful and massive Total War game ever, which brings another bucket full of content to a sea of Warhammer content which now has almost no end in sight. The duality of each of these content additions and 3 updates only amplifies the differences between races and sometimes even factions of those races, to a point that players get lost in the depths of this game. I do hope that this guide helps you navigate through this ocean of content and helps you enjoy it as much as possible. I want to thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I wish you all happy gaming and many successful Total Wars.